Then inside of the components directory, inside of the UI folder, let's add a file named hero section.tsx. Let's go ahead and mark this file as use client. Then we'll just create a function so that we can export it. We'll just name it hero section. Click save. Go back to the page.tsx. What we want to do is remove homepage. Inside of homepage, add a div. We'll give it a class name of flex. Set the direction to column. Give it a gap of 4, a width of 4. Let's add another div. We'll give it a class name with the height 80. We'll set the width to full. We'll go MX auto to set the margins to auto. We'll go max width screen. We'll set this to extra large. Just so we can see what we're working with, we'll say give it a background color of amber 200. Import the hero section component. Click save. We now have hero section on screen. Let's go ahead and begin to work on styling. So we'll go back to hero section. The only thing that we need to bring in within this code is motion. This is going to come from framermotion. In the return statement, motion.div, class name with relative, direction to column, item center, the height to 80 on medium devices, the height 400 pixels, background color black with a shade of 90, text to white, padding on the X of 6, set the text to center. Just to see what this looks like, put hero section. Click save. There we go. And I'm just going to remove this amber color so we get a better representation of what it actually is. Let's give a little bit of animation to the background of the hero section. The initial opacity to be set to 0. On the Y, 30, because shift up on refresh. The animate opacity to be set to 1. On the Y, we want it to be set to 0. And then say transition, we want the duration to be 0.8. Ease, we want it to ease out. Just ease out. Click save. Notice how it begins to rise up when we refresh. There we go. I want to add a little bit of animation to the text that we're going to have on screen. So we'll remove hero section. We'll replace it with a div. We'll give it a class name of relative. The Z index of this to be 10. Flex direction of column. The items to be centered. Give it a gap of 4. And this is just the container that's going to hold the H1, the P tag, and the button. We'll set the H1, motion.h1. We'll go class name. Text size to 3XL. On medium device, text to be 5XL, the font to be bold. Set this text so we can see it on screen. Welcome to Quick Post. I get a little animation for it. Set the initial state 0, and because I want it to be a little staggered with the actual screen, I'm going to set the Y to 20. Animate, we'll set the opacity to 1, and on the Y to 0, we'll set the transition to be a delay 0.2, and the duration of it is going to be set to 0.8. Save. So now we get a animation of the actual background. Text is animating on screen. So now let's add a description. Come outside of the motion.h1, add motion.p for the p tag. Let's just get some text on screen. Learn, document, and grow with the best resources. SOURCS. Let's style that text first. Say max width of 2XL, text large. On medium devices, we want the text to be XL, extra large. The color of this is going to be neutral 200. Save. See it on screen. We see it before the H1 because we don't have any motion with it, or animation, I should say. So for the P tag, we can copy a lot of this. So we'll copy it, paste it in for the P tag. We're going to keep everything the exact same except for the delay. We're going to set it to 0.4. So now last but not least, we want to add the motion.button, and we'll just say create now. We'll style the button first, give it a class name with a background white, text to neutral 600, font semi-bold, give a little padding on the X of 6. On the Y of 2, the rounded to large for the edges. Click save. So now you see that listed on screen. On hover, set the background to gray 100, and we'll go transition all. On hover, background gray 100. Refresh the screen. On desktop, this is what it looks like. There we go. So now we just need to add some animation. We see the H1 and the P tag animating. We just don't see anything from the button. So let's take care of that now. We'll just copy this code from the P tag, go down to the motion.button, paste it in. We're going to keep the opacity to 0. But for this one, the initial, we're going to change the scale to 0.9. The animate, we're going to keep the opacity at 1, and we'll change the scale of this to 1. Do something a little different. And then last but not least, the delay is going to be 0.6 instead of 0.4. And the duration of this is going to be 0.5. So we'll click save, refresh the screen. There you go. You notice that the button appears last and it gives a little grow effect. Take a look at it on the desktop view. There we go.